Radio 1 FM 90.
Brought to you by Housing Finance Bank, a financial institution regulated by Bank of Uganda. Housing Finance Bank, we make it easy.
Your views, our interviews on Spectrum, Radio 1 FM 90.
Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us this evening on this edition of Spectrum, coming to you live from Radio 1 FM 90, which is also broadcasting live on its website, which is www.radio1fm90.com. While on that website, look for the icon with the word Listen Live. There's also another option of listening to this radio station, that is via the different radio listening apps that can be obtained from the Google stores of your smartphone. Download any of the following apps: TuneIn, Afro Mobile, your TV channel, Radio Garden, and Stream Afrique. Look for Radio 1 FM 90. And as long as you have an internet connection, you should be able to listen to us from anywhere across this globe. There's also another option, that is if you have a DSTV connection, look for audio channel 897. And if you're on StarTimes, look for audio channel 97. My name is Kenneth Lukagandason, your host. Today we are back in the FDC to look at the latest development there and where this political party is actually ending. Now, some of the key issues that we have seen so far, there are unending demands about transparency and accountability by one side, while the other side is actually saying the report by the Elders Committee did exonerate them and it's time to move on. There is a talk about parallel meetings being called by different sides. The chairman of the party has called a meeting, and also the Secretary General of the party has also called another meeting. Some people are actually saying these could be two delegates' conferences that are going to emerge with two different leaderships for this political party. There are also issues about elections, the internal elections that are supposed to have gone and to have been undertaken within the political party. One group says these elections were a sham, while another one has continued to actually have the new leaders sworn in. What does this mean? Who is going to attend the delegates' conference? And what does this mean for the political party? There's also the issue of wasted time ahead of crucial meetings. The Najana Kumbi group did warn this week that the party risks to be deregistered by the Electoral Commission for not adhering to its constitution, because if it does not have change of leadership within the specified time, the Electoral Commission might deregister it. So this time that it's being wasted, what can they do about it? Are there irreconcilable differences, or there can be reconciliation? Are there any plans to see reconciliation taking place? And then one other key issue that has also played out as this disagreement, this political party continued, is the issue of the inter-party cooperation. Can the FDC cooperate with other political parties without having it swallowed? Because that's one issue that we had the two different parties talking about. One party was saying you're selling the party to the NRM. The other one was saying you want to sell the party to the National Unity Platform Party. This evening, my guest is the Honorable Proscovia Salaam Musumba. She is the FDC Vice Chairperson in charge of Eastern Region. Good evening and welcome to Spectrum.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. And good evening to you, all our listeners, our viewers. It's a great pleasure being here today, and especially to discuss a very, very important aspect of our politics, of our political landscape, and hearing it from the host itself. I have been, and I am, a leader in the party from inception through all the years of the 20 years up till now. I'm happy to be here, and it's my turn to talk to the country.
All right, Honorable Salaam Musumba.
Yes, please.
You have been with these political parties 20 years down the road.
Yes, please.
During that time, you spoke one language. You adhered to the slogan of your party.
Yes.
One people, one Uganda.
And we still are.
But we are seeing things happening. You can't claim to be the same with all the contradictions that I have highlighted as I introduce this topic today.
Yes, as you can see, this country suffers a lot of political heart attacks, political headaches, and this is one of them. The difference here is that there's effort to fix it, to find solutions to it. And what you see playing out in the media and in the public is to call ourselves to order. We're calling ourselves to order. We are calling ourselves to account. The sins may be ugly, but at the heart of it and the belly side of it is asking questions and seeking answers to those questions before we take power. And so, from my perspective, it's healthy democracy without the violence. It is a debate that should be happening in places internally. Unfortunately, those places have been disabled, and that's why you see it overflows into the streets. You should be interrogating why. You should be interrogating where is the failure, because all of us are old enough to know, and we are old enough to fix. The question is, why aren't you fixing?
All right. And
somebody just asked me, is FDC about to die? I said, if it's to die, it will not be out of an accident. The death of FDC will not be an accident. It is calculated. It is being supervised, and it's being monitored. And there'll be a killer. The killer will be named, because we all have the powers, and we have the organs. We have a constitution that guides us what needs to be done. And so where's the failure? We can work backwards, reverse engineer, and see where is the problem. Go back to the problem and fix it. Why are you refusing to fix the problem? Why do you want us to crash? And so I would want the public not to watch like football, a football match.
All right.
They have a duty to ask the right questions at the right time and get the information, because this too is a learning process. It's a learning process. It is the beauty of it is that it's a digital learning process. The actors are known, and I will read for them the right act. Each of the actors is not in darkness. All this is playing out in the open, in the light. It's not an accident. The death of FDC will not be because of an accident. It will be choreographed.
All right. You say you understand the problem, and probably it's time to solve the problem now. The genesis of this problem, we are told, is about what you people have been calling dirty money that was apparently brought in the political party.
Yes.
You all agreed that an elders committee should look into this matter. The report came out, yes, and they said there was no dirty money, and they said you should move out. Yes, they said they said there was no dirty money. The money that came into the political party was borrowed by the Secretary General on behalf of the political party.
Don't say that.
So why are you not moving on?
You see, English is so difficult. When you say there was no dirty money, it means that there was even an allegation of that. What you should be saying, the party received legitimate money through these sources. Okay? Part of the rumor mongering meal is to twist and say things. What did the report say? And you should have it on you to read it for the public. But it's not just that, with or without money. It's not that. There are other issues at play too. And even if you remove money out of it, those issues must be answered. Now, those issues are governance issues. How is the party governing itself? Who is exercising which mandate? And who is meeting that mandate? You see? And what are the correcting mechanisms when you hit a snag? What are the internal means and ways? How are decisions taken within the party? When we formed this party, we were curing a defect within the political landscape. We were curing autocracy within the party. We were very deliberate to divide power, to make sure that that power is exercised judiciously. We were looking for collective decision-making. We did not allow any power of veto. We allowed that there must be as much discussion as there must be to reach consensus. And if there's no consensus, then you vote. And the vote takes the day.
All right.
And so we provided for all these mechanisms. But today, the mechanisms are not working. So people need to know what happened.
So what happened? What happened?
Was on 16th June 2023. The party organs are very clear in their mandates, and the organ that runs the day-to-day events of the party is called the National Executive Committee. And that National Executive Committee, the NEC, has the responsibility to oversee many things that get going. And in that meeting, it was decided that one, the roadmap, the internal elections roadmap that had been delayed because of logistical issues, the rollout of that program should be stayed until we clean up certain things. And we allowed ourselves 4 weeks within which to do that, because then we would be late if we didn't. We also looked at ourselves internally and said we have issues, and these issues cannot be resolved in a meeting. Let us find space and time to retreat and talk about them. And also, can we send notice for a National Council meeting to allow us to... We intended to ask National Council to give us time to find means and ways of reconciling many teething issues. And so, we did not even vote by consensus or by voice. We voted by hand. And all these things were supposed to be carried out simultaneously. And they didn't. And that's the last National Executive Committee meeting we've had. And there's no hope for another. So that organ, the decision-making organ, the executive organ, is called National Executive Committee. Executive organ has been disabled. The National Executive Committee meets during Honorable Monto's time and during Dr. Vesia's time, would meet weekly. And the understanding was, if you don't spend time deliberating issues, you will spend time damage controlling, like we are. And so it was decided to meet every week under Engineer Muriat.
Who calls that meeting?
It is the party president.
Okay.
So and that party president has 4 deputies, 1 from each region. So the issue of delegation comes into play should he, for any reason, not be available to do so. And so you can call on Honorable Anna Deke, Honorable P.P. Okin, Honorable Zoe, and Lord Mayor. 4 people, celebrated personalities. And that organ has been effectively and efficiently, deliberately disabled. And so how do you expect the party to run? How else are decisions taken in the party? A body corporate. So you can see we are risking our party to turn into a briefcase party, walking with the owner wherever they go. And that's the crux of the matter.
But
if, for instance...
We have also heard that wherever they call meetings at National Committee, some of you people have not been actually attending.
Check, that is not for debating. There's a register. There's a register. We don't operate in a vacuum. There's a register. You can count how many times people have attended. And I make a deliberate effort to close whenever the meeting is done. I close. We have even said, let's go biometric. All those tools are available to us. It's not an issue of guesswork. It is an issue of finding out who is the weak link within the party. We work based on mutual trust to do a public duty. And therefore, we have been asking, when is NEC? When is NEC? We've never gotten a straight answer. And we have come to a conclusion that this is one of NEC has been effectively disabled and weaponized.
All right. As you talk about NEC, we understand there are 2 meetings.
No.
One meeting has been called by
please.
you. I saw a document where you signed as a vice chairperson.
This is what I'm telling you.
And then we have also seen the document calling another meeting by the Najana Nkumbi leadership where they are going to elect certain people. So which is
you see,
what's
you
happening?
guys in the media are very disappointing.
No, we are not disappointed. We have seen documents.
You're so lazy.
You cannot blame the media.
You, Kenneth, you've grown in the media with us. And you know we have had delegates conferences. Can you go back?
Before you cite before you
and
cite,
check all the 6 national delegates conferences? Who has called them? Who has presided over them? We have elected 4 times.
Before we deal with the legality of who calls
No, leave the legality. We only function legally.
The fact of the matter,
we are not.
Seen
listen.
documents calling for 2 meetings.
One is a fraud. Nowhere in our constitution is a national delegates conference called by the Electoral Commission. Nowhere. And you will be forgiven for not reading. Nowhere does it cite. It is rumor mongering, aware of, as you know, as you remember, rumor mongering on FDC headed paper. It's such a shame. Rumor mongering, fraud on FDC headed paper. That's abuse of office. Actually, I am looking for public prosecution for abuse of office. Blatant abuse of office. I want to know who paid for it. How can you pay for a fraud? That is why NEC is not being called. Because I want to put the Treasurer General to task. Who calls a delegate? And you know, a happy fraudster walks the streets shamelessly. You walk with our party fraudulently. Treat that as a fraud, and the people peddling it as fraudsters. In our constitution, there's only one office that was given that responsibility, the office of the chair. It's the one that presides over the National Council and the National Delegates Conference. There's no National Delegates Conference that is called for election just. It's never been there. Check in our archives. Check in your books. Don't peddle comedy. Oh, these ones are doing this, and the other ones are doing that. Please, democracy, we live in the same country. And the biggest problem for this country is lack of due process, and lack of trust, and lack of leadership, effective leadership.
All right.
And none of those people doing these things is a peasant.
All right. Let's look at the meeting that you have called as chairperson of this political party.
Yes.
What exactly do you want to do in that meeting? Because the others want to have leaders elected. What exactly do you want to do?
Listen to me. You irritate my ears. Because I don't want to talk about a fraud.
This is where we are. This is the reality
Call
of
it
your
by
political
its
party.
name, that we have fraudsters on FDC-headed paper. Fraud done by fraudsters. Political fraudsters are the guys that have led us to this place.
They have the official letterhead of the party. They have the stamp. They have the headquarters.
They are fraudsters. Have you ever seen a fraudster in a suit? Have you ever seen a fraudster traveling business class and first class? Does it change the definition of a fraudster in a suit and one in shorts. A fraudster is a fraudster. And what makes them fraudsters is the fraud they do. Political fraud. Abuse of office.
So
abuse of due process.
How do you get rid of the fraudsters from your party headquarters?
First of all, they must be called out by name. Let them not walk the streets of Kampala masquerading. Don't allow them.
You're inciting a section of your party members to attack your leaders? Is that what you're doing?
To put our leaders to order.
Even if it were,
by doing what? Do whatever it takes that is legal within the means. I'm not asking anybody to do anything illegal. I'm saying use every legal mechanism available to you to call them out. We've been calling out President Museveni. How many years? What is good for the gander is good for the goose. This is a political nursery bed. You groom fraudsters. You support fraudsters. You will reap fraud.
All right. So in your meeting, what do you want to do?
You definitely have defined where we are at. We too can see ourselves that we are not in a good spot. We can see that we have challenges and we are looking for solutions. And the supreme body of the party to which we are appealing is the Delegates Conference. And so we are well within our mandate, well within our means, and well within our efforts to find solutions.
So this Delegates Conference that you want to call,
yes,
who is going to attend it? Because as we speak now, we have new leaders who have been sworn in, but we also have the old guard.
When you elect members of parliament in January,
who will sit in this Delegates Conference?
Listen to me. When you have members of parliament elected in January, when do they take office? In May. When you elect a president in January, they take office in May. When you elect local government leaders, the same applies.
That is by our national constitution.
And we are duty bound where we have a lacuna to look at the related laws, because we operate under the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. We operate under the Political Parties and Organizations Act.
And where there is a lacuna,
you refer.
Somebody can also take advantage.
Not take advantage. You make inference and reference.
Hence the swearing in of the new leaders.
Another fraud. Our term of office ends together. Why am I still a vice chair? Why are you still the Secretary General? Why are you still the Treasurer General? And you should know better. When I call you a fraudster, it is because I know you should know better. And you are a fraudster when you engage in such fraud. Political fraud is the biggest problem for this country. You can see even a lawyer putting on professional gear to preside over fraud. Don't take that lawyer for any of your... Don't.
Legal battles.
No, not at all. They will sell you out. Legal fraudsters also exist. And so, we are well within our mandate to do what is honorable for the party and what adds value to the party.
All right, Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90. Let's go for a break now. When we return, we'll try to look at the way forward. What then do you do to actually...
We are not yet in danger. We are using all the tools in the political toolkit called the Constitution.
Well, I would say you are endangered because you are not speaking from Najana Kumbi. You are not at the party headquarters.
Listen to me. That is the fraud. Gangsters do what is happening at my party. You overrun a party. You know? Party capture. you know? Call it by its name.
But
I mean, who do they work for? Who do they work for? Ask me the question.
Going by
under Muntu, even under high tension, they never close the gate. They even open 2 gates. Under Dr. Besige, they never even closed the toilets. People would come in from outside to ease themselves in FDC toilets. That is part of recruitment. We started by seeing closed gates. Then we saw goons. Then they started counting us. They had a list of who should enter and who should not. Then they started moving menacingly, attacking leaders. And they started from the top. The party chair. Shame.
all right, let's go for a break now. When we return, we'll reflect more on some of the issues and also look at the proposal you're putting on the table. Are you willing to talk to your colleagues at Nandala POA? Because you need each other. Yes, they are.
Members as elected leaders.
All right.
We elected these leaders. They did not come through the power of the barrel, the gun. No, we elected them.
All right. Let's go for a break now. We'll return shortly with Spectrum. We're still continuing to talk to the Honorable Proscovia Salaam Musumba, with the FDC Vice Chairperson in charge of the Eastern region, and we are looking at the issues that are going on.
I am the Vice Chair for the entire country. Only that I come from the East. So I bring in the voice of the people from the East onto the national table of decision making.
All right, stay tuned, Radio.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
You can't come to the Sheraton? Worry not. Sheraton will come to you. Order your favorite meal for you and your family at your home, office, or special function. We deliver breakfast, lunch, early dinner, snacks, cakes, and pastries. We also cater to weddings, bridal and baby showers, birthdays, anniversaries, and all your special occasions. Stay home and let's bring your meal to your doorstep. Sheraton Kampala is also available on Jumia Food and Glovo. For bookings and inquiries, call 0312-322-499 or 0752-711-191. Email foodandbeverage@sheratonkampala.com.
Terms of business with Housing Finance Bank and meet your business needs with ease. Get unsecured bid bonds of up to 500 million shillings within 24 hours. That's not all. Housing Finance Bank is also offering other short-term facilities, including performance guarantees, advance payment guarantees, contract financing, export and import financing, invoice discounting, and so much more. Contact our trade finance team today on 0417-707-595. You can also call our contact center on 0800-211-082 or WhatsApp 0771-888-755 or visit any of our Housing Finance Bank branch nearest to you. Housing Finance Bank, we make it easy. Housing Finance Bank is regulated by Bank of Uganda, and customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings. Terms and conditions apply.
This is for the timeless, the trailblazers and the trendsetters, those with a pioneering spirit and an uncompromising lifestyle. This is for those who have called time out on that clay tile roof, those who are ready to say out with the old and in with the new. Their style is bold, stylish, and elegant. This is for the dream home and being true to your lifestyle. And this is Lifestyle, a premium stone-coated roof tile for those bold enough to redefine premium.
Lifestyle is made with world-class technology to resist foggy and fading. Lifestyle is available in shingle, Roman, and wave profiles.
Lifestyle is a premium stone-coated roof tile from Uganda, Bati.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Well, thank you very much for staying with us on Spectrum. We are live on Radio 1 FM 90. Our talk today is about the latest developments in the FDC party, a number of issues taking place, and I'm speaking to the Honorable Proscovia Salaam Musumba, who is a Vice Chairperson in the FDC party. Well, Honorable Salaam Musumba, before we went for the break, we had reached a point where we need to look at the way forward. First of all, do you agree as a founding member of this political party that you all need each other? in the context of the Ugandan politics.
We do. And Uganda desperately
So if you do,
needs a viable, competitive, mature political entity to use it as a vehicle for liberation of this country, to use it as the other voice in a functional democracy, to find the space for all of us to be. And so, the desperate clarion call is for us to fix ourselves. And so we are doing everything that we are able to do to fix. And that's why I'm here. Part of it is for people to understand the stakes, to understand what is wrong with us. And let this not infect you like COVID-19. So whether you're running a business enterprise, whether you're running a religious institution, or whether you're running a traditional institution, beware. Beware.
All right. Now, Honorable Salaam Musumba, do you look at a situation where you and Patrick Amriato Boy, or you and Nathan Nandala Mafabi shaking hands and speaking the same language?
Of course I do.
Going to the voters and to tell them, vote for FDC?
Of course I do.
How do you reach that point? Are there any plans to see that you reach?
You see, you may not believe, but it's a simple thing. Call the National Executive Committee. Call the meeting. Let us sit and talk.
What would you see? What would you like to see on the agenda?
I want a report from Parliament. I want a report from the Women League.
A report from Parliament? That
Yes.
is from...
From the whip.
Which whip now?
We only have one whip. The Honorable Nandala POA. Listen to me. Fraud, political fraud, takes many shapes. For as long as you've disabled the neck, there can't be a change in leadership that has not been sanctioned by NEC.
So
this is simple. You guys like complicating things. Omusoga akoba. Ati wobita amaja. Wobita n'amayira. The route you used to going is the route you used to come back. The one who appoints is the one who disappoints.
Well, I can go to Nairobi by road and fly back.
You've come back through. You've still come back through some means. You're back.
All right.
It's a return journey.
So you want NEC to be called?
NEC is the only organ with the authority to disappoint and appoint. Guys, it's not rocket science. The things you see big people arguing about.
All right.
It's really nothing.
So a report from the whip in Parliament,
Yes.
a report from the Women's League.
Yes.
What else?
The Youth Electoral Commission to give us an update of what's going on. We want a report from the President about the minutes, what we had decided last time, why he chose to veto the decisions of NEC, and what did he put in place. How did we end here? We would want to hear the health of the party. Are we still viable? Are we still competitive? What has gone wrong? And how do we fix it? That's why we are elected to lead. Not to work with our titles. You know I'm this. You know I'm this. Bakwanirako bakazi. Bakwanirako basajja. Nze vice chairperson. Nze gundi. My friend, no.
Oh, you mean
leadership
those
is this.
positions?
People carry them big. That is the vice president. That is the deputy the vice chairman, the deputy president, the chairman. Just adding egos to ourselves. Let us meet the challenge. I am as guilty as I accuse my colleagues to be. I am as guilty.
And I was going to ask you, at one point, I saw you at Najana Kumbi. At least you were not locked out. That very day, I
You-
saw
you
you.
think they
I saw.
can dare?
I saw you urging.
I have a meeting. I have an
Doreen
office there.
Nyajura
Yes. Oh, that was the National Council.
to enter inside.
You see,
Then the following day, I saw you with what they are calling the Katonga group, seated at another place. It was a press conference at
You have-
that hotel. The name of the hotel,
Oh,
Fairway
Fairway.
Hotel. So
You
I
see,
saw you in two places.
yes,
Where
and you will
exactly
see me even in a fourth.
Where are you exactly?
I am here to safeguard the party that I painfully participated in forming. Painfully. I had choices. I had options. But this is a party of choice. A party that I've paid the highest price for. In my health, in my finances, in my social life, in my political life. I mean, it's crazy. There are people who have benefited from our backs. We are not complaining. We are only saying, please guys, allow us to have our baby. The FDC. Don't throw it away with the bathwater.
All right. Now, let's look at the other issue, or one of the other major talking issues.
But if you don't like it, go form yours.
So are you likely to form another political
No,
party?
this is ours. This is ours.
Well, the other side is actually saying if
If
do
it is
not
theirs,
conform,
you see,
do not-
we are one group.
if you don't conform to what the current leadership is doing, you can get out.
You sound like Milton Obote in 1980. And you irritate me. Who are you talking to?
Well,
If you don't want.
Somebody,
if you don't
somebody
want. Is this your father's party?
facts are
Is
better.
this your
That's what I'm
father's
saying.
party? Who do you work for? This is not your father's party. And neither is it my father's party. This is the people's party. And please allow the people to have a say in how it's functioning and dysfunctioning and how to fix it. Just call the organs that are interested with the duty to perform the collective decision making. Is that too much to ask? And if you can't ask, even if you can't just call a meeting, just go. Please go. You can't even delegate. Go. It's not rocket science.
All right. Let's look at the other issue that has been talked about, and that is the place of your founding president, Dr. Kizza Besigye.
Yes.
Some people feel he's operating outside the political party and partly draining it in terms of
You know, you're laughing.
in terms of strategy, in terms of
No.
allegiance, etc., etc.
Listen to me, my brother. Dr. Besigye doesn't want to be the president of Forum for Democratic Change. He was, and he gave power to the next leader. We are in the third one.
There are people who are saying Dr. Besigye is FDC and the FDC is Dr. Besigye.
Dr. Besigye is the foundation of the party called FDC. I hear people say, oh, he's not a founder member. No, sir. He's the foundation on which we built that party. He had contested in 2001 under reform agenda. And his reform agenda that formed the core, together with PAFO and NDC of Chairman Chapak and Hanga, that the three merged to become Forum for Democratic Change. At that time, Dr. Besigye was in exile.
In South Africa.
In South Africa. And our first meeting was held in South Africa. But we left men here and women who could have formed a party, and they were cowards, huge ones, fair weather politicians, we made our trip to South Africa. What were we looking for? We were looking for the foundation, for the validation. And so you can't take it away from him.
So, what would you tell people who are saying that probably he needs to go back into the party as a stabilizing force, either become a party chairman, secretary for mobilization?
No.
Now that he says he can't vie
Listen
for
to me.
political
Listen
office.
to me. Even the narrative about how Katonga exists is warped, is incorrect. It was a neck decision during the tenure of Honorable Muntu to set up a people's government that would be housed in Katonga because Chairman Chapa, one of the co-founders from the NDC, gave us half the space. That's how Katonga comes to be. For those who don't know, when we formed FDC, I was a co-spokesperson with Betty Kamya, and our office was in Kamwacha. Before, the Honorable James Garuga Musinguzi generously transferred us to Najanankumbi. He went on even to give us the opportunity of the first buyer of Najanankumbi. Do you hear him say many things? Does anybody refer to him? They sit there and puke, not knowing the basis on which the place where we are seated.
How it came about.
How did it come about?
All right.
For the price we paid, you can't find that property there.
All right.
A discounted rate to give FDC a home, and we proudly bragged
As the only
party with a home care of James Garugam Sings.
All right.
Who they thanklessly don't even mention. Anyway. And many others. The first furniture was by Honorable Athanasius Rutaro. They are bleeding. We're there. The person who led us there, the Honorable Augustine Ruzendana, into FDC. Ever heard him shout? You mean the latter day FDCs are more meaningful than the founders? All members are equal. God form yours. If you do not understand that there are people who put their backs.
All right. Let's hear from the listener. We have comments coming in. As Fred writes in and says, Spectrum, FDC bigwigs, diehards have left FDC in droves. Some joined NRM, others not. Butime, Muntu, Alaso, Kiza, Kamya, Sebugwao, Mama Mabida, Katuntu, etc. Does it bother Honorable Musumba? Doesn't FDC need a self-meeting instead of always blaming others?
No, we don't blame nobody. I think he wasn't hearing. I said I'm as guilty as my colleagues who are accused of failure. Only that for me, I'm honest enough to tell you my share of it. Our colleagues left us, but with hindsight, I do now understand why. I do. And for Mama, Wechtiba Nabosa, I have talked to her and she has told me, Mola Wange, this and this and this. So it's part of my knowledge. The Honorable Time John. Listen to me. The Honorable Time John, who I went to bury in Toro. I gave applause to him for his part. When all the men of Toro were hiding, he would get up and get on the bus and come to chair. At a time when nobody dared. Toro was jubilating. They had their own. Today they are wallowing in poverty. No road. And the Honorable John Botime gave us that clout at the right time in the right place to form FDC. And so are the other colleagues. They gave us clout. The Honorable Muntu did, the Honorable Alaso did, Betty Kamya did, Betty Kamya had a go at forming her own party. She saw how hard it was. She fled her own party. So her trajectory speaks volumes of who she is and what she is. Fair weather. Eh?
All right, we have a comment coming in from Gabira Notofa. Good evening, Mr. Lukwago. Unresolved issues in the party, like what you have now. Sojoy Sebugwao's leave, Honorable Betty Kamya, Mugisha Muntu, Abdu Katuntu, recently, and many other men of substance say think tankers that would have helped the party in advancing.
You lose one think tanker, you get another.
As we speak now, I'm optimistic the remnants where Honorable Semoju and the like are also following the trend. Honorable Musumba, tell Ugandans where you see FDC in 10 years from now if leaders are being chased in such a way. Is that attracting more members to join the party or abandon it? Personally, I am now confused the next step to take, and I hope a big section of the party are in the same dilemma. Now I have to confirm the narrative by 2026. There will be no functioning opposition party in Uganda. That is Tofa Ngabirano.
That's his choice. You know, in life we have
and
choices.
He speaks like a party member.
And I wish to address him as a party member. Politics is not for the weak-kneed. And it's not for lamentations. Do your part.
Your members are confused. Your members are confused.
By
you are
choice.
Not offering leadership.
From what I've said. And I thought I was very clear. That confusion, it will help the confusion clear so that he's able to make a choice. And we are inviting other leaders called delegates from the entire country on the 19th of September 2023 in an extraordinary National Delegates Conference to come and we chart a future together.
All right.
Come and decide which direction your party takes.
All right, we have a
because we're all leaders. We might have failed in a certain level, but bring the collective wisdom, and the day for it is 19th.
All right,
September.
David from Kisasi.
And there's only one National Delegates Conference called so far. There'll be another. There'll be another that will where elections will be part of the agenda.
All right.
Yes.
David from Kisasi. Honorable Salaam Musumba should not blame the media for FDC wars. In her opening remarks, she's heard subscribing to fatalism that FDC is irredeemable crisis. The ongoing crisis in FDC exposes the elite hypocrisy characteristics of the Honorable Salaam Musumba and Kizza Besigye's of this world. The FDC, which has been presenting itself as a scared cow now and doyen of democracy, is inevitably at its knees and headed for a political grave. I advise Honorable Salaam Musumba and her like to swallow their pride and go separate ways, but not hang on a sinking ship. That's a comment there from David.
That poor David is conflicted. I have said I am as guilty as the rest of my colleagues. So where is the hypocrisy?
All right. Another comment: I used to respect Honorable Salaam Musumba, but now really fed up of her and her cliques because their faction just doesn't respect power and Nandala leadership. She somersaulted against the recent National Council meeting resolutions, which she read herself to the press. Calling others goons, yet their faction is full of goons, too, with the masters in organizing of goons being the Lord Mayor Elias Lukwago. Let me read these comments. Claims gates are locked. I support the locking of the gate for controlled access. Reason since the youth and the goons mobilized under the Honorable Salaam Musumba Semuju Lukwago faction, they issued threats of overriding the Naja offices. So if their factions can't compromise with power, let them go form another political party.
No, I can't accept that narrative because I don't lead goons. I'm too proud to lead goons.
But he's saying here you belong to a camp.
No, I
where
don't.
People are well known for mobilizing goons.
I belong to the foundation and the founder members of Forum for Democratic Change that are desperate to salvage my party. And I am calling everybody to order, including myself. Use our collective mandates to fix ourselves. That's all. You know, English is a difficult language. Yeah?
All right.
You only hear what you want to hear.
Well, we have a comment from Ongodia J, who is listening in from here in Kampala. I see bitterness in my sister and others. Is it they did not get the share they wanted or power struggle? I'm very disappointed with the likes of Honorable Salaam. I'm so disappointed with the likes of Honorable Salaam and those who have turned their energy, effort, and guns to their own instead of the common enemy. Any struggle with divided actors will never win. Let them wait come 2026. Come 2026, FDC will not get 10 MPs because of the selfishness of the like of Honorable Salaam Musumba.
I have no selfishness.
If money was really a problem, like they seem to say, what is wrong with them?
Say that guy didn't listen to anything. Don't waste my ears. Because he has not listened. He has his own narrative in his head. A selfish person doesn't come on radio. They don't.
All right.
Because listen, this goes on my record. And the digital record, if he doesn't know. And so I am very, very careful. The things I say in public and the things I say in private. Because the eavesdropping law is still in place as well. And it's only people like me, with the courage to say what I say, that offer leadership. The rest are listeners, and many are hecklers. So don't turn this into a heckling thing because it's too serious.
All right.
It's too serious. First of all, they have never elected. They never elected the Secretary General, the Treasurer General, the Chairman, the Vice Chairman. They never. We did. I was elected by over 500 voters, 700 voters. And these were not Basogas. From Busoga, you could get maybe 100 votes. It just tells you one thing, that in failing our mandate, we find every reason
All right.
to cling on and say,
Dr. Obuku Ekwaro, tolerance of varying views should be accepted, internal democracy should be promoted, reconciliation should take place, and he's simply saying that
that's the route.
FDC should work on itself.
That's the route we are pursuing. We have set up a mediation team. But you see, a mediation team can only be complementary to a functional party. And until you have the necessary meetings, the National Executive Committee, to complement and work in unison with the National Delegates Conference. I don't know why people fear.
All right.
People fear the organs they've set up themselves. We didn't create this yesterday.
All right.
And let me tell you, 1,400 delegates, I have no control over them. They are leaders in their own right, and if they care about their party, if the time to show the evidence is availed, 19th September 2023.
All right, I'm afraid with that we come to the end of Spectrum. Thank you very much.
Allow me to apologize to the listening public. This is not good. That's befallen us. It's not good. But it's a necessary evil. It's a necessary evil. And the things playing out in the media are not good. And we know that. But they are the birth pangs of democracy. You're lucky it's not war.
So out
Europe
of this,
went into war.
a stronger FDC will emerge.
It will emerge.
Right.
You know, it's like a couple fighting, and after a week, they give birth to twins.
Oh. All right, with that, we come to the end of Spectrum. Thank you very much, Honorable Salaam Musumba, for making time to be with us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear listeners, for contributing to this show. Up next, we have the news in English with Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss Josephine Takano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train, Miss